Today, there is a big and serious disagreement about defense. It's a high-pressure fight between the United States and Canada, and it's getting a lot of attention across NATO. U.S. President Donald Trump wants Canada to spend $20 billion on submarine contracts that would go to American shipyards. Canada has said no to that demand. Instead, Canada is moving forward with its own $60 billion submarine plan. The leading partners are Germany's ThyssenKrupp and South Korea's Hanwha. This conflict is not just about building submarines. It's about national control, local jobs, and how allies work together on defense. Why is Canada making this move now? Canada's current submarines, the Victoria class, were bought second-hand from the United Kingdom in 1998. They were only meant to be a temporary solution. Instead, they have been used for decades and have had many problems. They are expensive to maintain, often break down, and usually only one submarine is ready for use at any time. At the same time, the world is changing quickly. In the Arctic, melting ice is opening new sea routes. Russia is increasing its submarine patrols under the ice, and China is expanding its naval power far from its own shores. NATO is also pushing Canada to spend closer to 2% of its GDP on defense. Because of all this, Canada believes it needs a modern submarine fleet. The new Canadian Patrol Submarine project is meant to deliver new submarines by the mid-2030s, before the old Victoria-class submarines are retired. These submarines need to work in harsh Arctic conditions. They must stay hard to detect, travel long distances, and at the same time support Canadian jobs from Halifax to Vancouver. Canada decided not to use U.S. shipbuilders and instead strong Canadian involvement in the project. By doing this, Ottawa is trying to protect itself from U.S. tariffs and political changes. This choice is a risk. Canada is accepting short-term political criticism in order to get submarines that are designed specifically for Canadian waters and needs. This is where Donald Trump became involved. Trump's $20 billion push. Trump was very direct. He said that if Canada is buying submarines, they should be built in the United States. He asked Canada to send $20 billion to U.S. shipyards. Trump described this as a win for everyone. Stronger supply chains for U.S. defense, more jobs for shipyard towns like Groton and Newport News, and proof that his America First industrial policy works. The $20 billion number became a symbol of how much U.S. shipyards hope to gain from building submarine hulls and electronics. Canada said no. Instead, Ottawa chose to send its largest naval contract overseas. This decision matched Canada's priorities: control over maintenance, support for Canadian industry, and protection from U.S. political swings. Past U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum made Canada worry about rising costs and delays partway through the project. Trump's supporters accused Canada of betraying American workers and weakening NATO unity. They warned this decision could harm the arsenal of democracy. Canada responded by saying that spreading production across partners makes defense systems stronger, not weaker. Ottawa also pointed out that U.S. shipyards are already extremely busy building Columbia-class and Virginia-class submarines, leaving little extra capacity. The result is a political deadlock and a major turning point for the defense industry. It is changing how defense money and jobs are spread on both sides of the U.S.-Canada border. While the United States remains angry about the decision, Canada has already moved on. Ottawa is now focused on a new reality and must choose between two foreign submarine suppliers. Canada's submarine strategy: Hanwha versus ThyssenKrupp. Canada has narrowed its options to two major shipbuilding companies: South Korea's Hanwha Ocean and Germany's ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems, TKMS. Hanwha is selling speed and new technology. Its KSS-3-based design uses lithium-ion batteries, which allow submarines to stay underwater longer. It also offers advanced sensors and space for future upgrades. Hanwha's proposal is ambitious: sign a contract by 2026, deliver 4 submarines by 2035, and
eventually expand to a fleet of up to 12 boats in the early 2040s. ThyssenKrupp is taking a different approach. It emphasizes NATO compatibility and lower risk. Its Type 212CD submarines, already ordered by Germany and Norway, use hydrogen fuel cell propulsion and rely on well-tested systems and shared allied logistics.
this makes them easier to integrate with NATO partners. The schedule also fits Canada's mid-2030s timeline, although shared production would require careful planning. Canada is looking at much more than marketing promises. Ottawa is evaluating how well each design can survive Arctic conditions, how long it can operate, how quiet it is, what weapons and sensors it can carry, and how easy it will be to maintain over decades. Just as important is how much technology, intellectual property, and industrial work can be brought into Canada. Both companies promise Canadian jobs and advanced technology transfers, but the final choice will shape Canada's Navy and defense industry for generations. Canada must choose between Hanwha's fast battery-based design and ThyssenKrupp's NATO-proven model, aiming for submarines that match Canadian timelines and priorities. The U.S. is left dealing with the fallout. American shipyards hoped Canadian orders would ease pressure from the Columbia and Virginia-class programs. Suppliers across steel, electronics, and skilled trades prepared for new work. That demand vanished. Large U.S. yards remain busy, but smaller suppliers face fewer orders and higher costs. The loss also means fewer jobs at a time when skilled labor is already in short supply. Politically, Canada's decision weakens U.S. leverage. For decades, Washington tied allies together through shared equipment and maintenance. Canada's refusal shows that even close partners are willing to look elsewhere. At a higher level, this signals a shift. Submarines are symbols of sovereignty, and Canada's move reflects a broader trend towards diversified, multi-nation defense supply chains within NATO and beyond. Mid-level powers are building regional defense ecosystems to reduce reliance on any single country. Europe is already doing this through joint programs and policies that favor local industry. If Canada aligns with Hanwha's Asian production line or ThyssenKrupp's European pipeline, it reinforces this shift toward regional defense hubs. For NATO, the impact is mixed. Fragmented fleets make logistics and interoperability harder, but diversified production improves resilience against sanctions, cyber attacks, and supply bottlenecks. Canada is betting that resilience, supported by shared standards and joint exercises, matters more. Adversaries are watching closely. China benefits if Allied submarine production slows. Russia benefits if Arctic patrols fall behind. That makes Canada's mid-2030s delivery timeline critical, especially for asserting control over the Northwest Passage. There are economic side effects as well. Advances in batteries, quiet propulsion, and autonomous systems could spill into civilian industries, giving Canada both jobs and technological leverage. Bottom line, Canada's rejection of U.S. submarine shipyards is not just a procurement choice. It marks a shift in how even close allies think about sovereignty, industry, and security. For the United States, it's a warning. Influence and industrial dominance are no longer guaranteed. Trump's $20 billion push may have accelerated Canada's turn toward Europe and Asia. With Hanwha and ThyssenKrupp now leading contenders, Canada's final decision will shape not only its navy, but its alliances well into the 2040s.